remember that one, don't I? Hello, hello, hello. William over here with A.P.C. Photography. So tonight I'm working on a quote for a client. They're looking to do a podcast studio, and I am looking for whatever they happen to need. Feel free to ask any questions as I go along in doing this because right now we're just going to have a little bit of fun, look at what we got going on. We're going to start on Adorama's page. Let me tell you what's going on here. They want three different proposals for a full podcast studio, four people, a minimum of two angles, but we'll probably do 3 to 4 angles with it. And we want to also be able to add in a computer with the devices too. So there's going to be a couple of different options we're going to look at tonight. Camera wise, I'm going to be looking at PTZs. I'm going to be looking at anything that has a fan in it. So that could be C70s, Blackmagic Design, all the rest of it. And we're just going to kind of go through how I would look at proposals for cameras and everything else. If you have questions or comments, please ask questions. Through the process. Uh, and uh, so I tend to start with cameras over audio because audio is easy for me. I can pretty much put together an audio package in about an hour at the most. Cameras a little bit more work. Reason being is on the podcast side of it for cameras is just a whole nother monster per se. So let's kind of go through it and see how it looks. I'm also going to check the live real quick just to make sure everything's going good. So give me just one moment and then pull up Adorama so you can see it, at least see it. Here it is. We'll be shopping out of Adorama today. Really good website to go to, looking at photography cameras and video cameras and all the rest. Um, Really, it's kind of like up to you and everything that's fun to shop with. Generally, I recommend Adorama because they're just really good. Looks like we got a live going pretty well right now, so let's see how that looks. Once I've got a good look at the app, we're going to go really into the live stream itself. All right, looks like we're good. We're solid. All right, cool. Let's start talking about what's going on with this live stream here. Adorama, what are we going to look at right now for cameras? So at the moment, I'm looking at options. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. Uh, oh, guess I got it, but pardon me. Give me just one moment here. I'm going through the last little bit of this before I jump into the cameras we're doing. I just want to make sure everything is on this. I can get it to pop up is to do this right here. All right, all right, all right. No more echoes. This. There we go. All right, so I can see comments. All right, cool. We're like 3 minutes into this, and it's just chaos incarnate. So let's start looking for some cameras here real quick. What do I want to go with here? Let's go on the cameras. Hey, hi. So these are photography cameras. I'm going to start here just because I kind of like they do some video. Let's see, what do I want to go with here? The first round, we're going to kind of go PTZs. I like that as a good starting point. Relatively easy to work with, and you can move up quite a bit. So I'm going to start in that. I think $1,000 per unit would be a way to start. So we're going to start at low price and kind of move forward. Ignore all these. There's junk. That's junk. That's junk. That's junk. This one surprisingly isn't junk, but it wouldn't do the job for what we need to do. Film is not the greatest. The Marshalls are not the greatest. And if you're doing a podcast studio, you want something that's going to really, really have some strength behind it. Excuse the excess noise. I'm at one of my little favorite little hangout spots, so I'm having fun. So you see this 1/2/8 sensor? That's not a very good sensor size to work with. It'll give you HD, no problem. It'll give you power over Ethernet, but it's just too small of a sensor. I'm not sure I want to. NDI. Uh, let's see what they got here. They got about 900 for a camera, which isn't too bad. I'm a spec hound, so those are the things that are important to me. 1/3 inch sensor is no, but the color space is actually pretty good. At filter 2, so it's going to be great. HD optical zoom, that's going to be a nice area. It can do RTMP and it can also UPID, so that's good. Power over Ethernet, so we could do an Ethernet setup. Actually, kind of like this a lot. This is good. We do run Ethernet to run the networking for power. Yeah, that's a solid. That's a solid first choice. Under a grand camera, we can add that to the cart for now. I probably would do a 4 camera setup. And we'll get to controllers in a little bit. So that's the first camera I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what we're looking at next. I do want the 4K capabilities. I do want internal recording if possible. So let's see what we got available with those features. Right at or near $1,000 or 50, between 1,000 to $1,200 camera. Nope, 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 nope. The NDI features are great. I'm really loving that. It's just not everything I'm looking for. Uh, the SDI is good, so that's the way I plan on helping put the whole studio together. PTZ optics, USB, da da da. Let's take a look at this one real quick. I know it's just an HD camera, but they tend to have a good reputation. Let's see what we're looking at here spec wise. That's a 12 times, which fits in the realm I need it to fit in. 12 times zoom in a podcast studio is really easy to work with. They're going to hang these units, by the way. So they're going to hang them down. So you'll be able to have the size is easy to work with. Hang them, will have them go down, and it's easy to shoot with. It's actually a really simplistic way of doing the setup. I'll show another way that's going to be on sticks cameras too that we can move room to room. So I think we're going to look at a couple different options. I'm looking at some specs on the backside here that are important to me. Let's HD video out. Looks like we have tilting zoom. 1/2/8 inch sensor, 2.8 sensor. I do not like. That's not going to handle low light very well. So you're going to have some issues with low light. It's just not a big enough sensor to really give you that beautiful type of you want. So let's keep looking at sensors. Let's keep looking at stuff here. Next on the list is going to be. It's midnight. I don't know why I would be watching right now, but let's just keep going. Uh, let's see. We haven't got anything for here. We're starting to get some 4K, but that's a module hooked in. That's still full HD and 1,100 to 1,200 bucks. All right, here's actually an interesting camera that could do the job for me. These I've actually got one of these already. It's a surprisingly great. This is a PTZ is called an OBS Bot Tail 2. This one surprisingly has a ton of features. So if you look at the back of this one here, kind of quick. I've got mic and line leveler, which is really nice to have. So I can actually send a signal to this from a mixer board, and it has micro SD input for recording. You can record on that unit itself. It also has HDMI, Ethernet, power over LAN Ethernet, which is really cool. It can be used as a webcam too, so we could webcam this in, and the unit itself can mount onto just about anything, really, with the mount we have right here. So it's really easy to work with. Uh, I'm really, it's hard not to go with this one here. It's its versatility and ability to move it from location to location in the studio, put them on a tripod, and just shoot is really cool. I might have to get shotgun mics for them, which would be the only thing that would suck. But then again, it's not that difficult to get $100 or a $50 shotgun microphone for scratch audio, and they have online audio into them. So it's this is going to be like the benchmark one, I think, and it's got a dual ISO, which is really really cool. The other part is it's got a 1 over 1.5 CMOS sensor, so it's a really really nice sensor for low light. Uh, the animal tracking and stuff like that, that's pretty cool too. The only thing that could be a downfall is it's got a hybrid zoom, so it does a 12 time and it does look good, but it's really a 5 time with a hybrid zoom feature to it. It has a dual native ISO, which looks really, really good. If you got lighting, it's going to look great. USB 3 is really nice, so we could pull it from one studio to another studio and really knock it out the park. So this is another one I want to add to the cart. Yeah, I think the only disadvantage is the price, but I also think the advantage is the price. I mean, what you're getting for that amount of money is something that we could move around from studio to studio and have it running off the battery power for all that matters. We can SDI in and all the rest, and then remount it for the power over Ethernet. So this is actually a really good piece. Let's see what else we got for options in the PTCs, and we just want to keep them right in that area there, pricing wise. And we're gonna kind of look at the next level, which is 2 grand PTCs after this. Let's see what we got going here. All right, we're gonna stop at the 1200 range. So this one's a 20 times power Ethernet for HD. Think about it, you're only getting HD in these PTZs, and you're not getting the recording capabilities, which is not good. I like having an external backup recording. That's really really important to me. The rest of these are actually looking pretty good, but I'm going to bump up to the next level of these just because I think we need to, because it's just not, I'm not hitting the numbers. I've got the NDI license for mine too. It's definitely there's a Sony one. I tend to like Sony, but this case here, I'm not sure that I would go. All these BGB. Uh, and this one here, it's got to be 4K. So that's going to be one of the requirements. Roland, let's take a look at this real quick. This might be a winner too. I like the design. This is actually kind of cool. I've never heard of these guys, but yeah, it's got the stuff it needs. Got that stuff there. Looks like no internal recording. Life goes on. Doesn't have an internal battery. Life goes on. 4K60 over USB, IP, HDMI, and SD, which is good. TMP, function PTIP over Visca. Okay, so Visca protocol, which is good. So this will be able to work with the NDI. Now, if anyone's worked with NDI before, it's a really easy to use software, but you don't always have all the good controls depending on which PDZ you connect to it. But if you can and you get into this, I think this does have NDI on it, then you can get Visca control too through apps. It's easy to. It's super nice. Let's go over IP. Usually when you have Vista, you have NDI. It looks like we don't have NDI in this one, but you have everything else you need. So, yeah, I think this is a good possibility. But I mean, if we're gonna go 13, I want to see what's coming up here. There's Logitech. You know, I have no idea about this one. I don't think I really want to spend some time on it. Okay, so here's one of the other ones that's got NDI. I'm picky on the NDI. I like the option NDI for future proofing. This is Atmos. Okay. Ooh, Ryan stuff. That's a decent sensor. Maybe this one is going to be not what I'm looking for. I think I have to move up one to get 2K60. So expression format's not bad. Or Ethernet. Highly light. I do like that. Okay, that internal recording of the OBS Bot 2 does kick in a different way. Uh, I don't need 30 times. I'm only going to need as most like 12. So that's not a big deal. NDI, Visca, 4K NDI, HX. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is really, really nice. Uh, that might be a nice one. Let's look at the OHD. Let's look at close out. I don't really care about that. I still think I want something in 4K. That's that's got to be key. Little surprised at the list of options for PTZs I like. Now, all of these are pretty cool. I mean, if you're looking at this, they're all pretty good PTZs. It's just that the internal recording rate is just hitting me a different way in that 4K. Ooh, this is the PTZ optics, indoor PTZ with tally lights. I like that. IP flexibility. All right, let's see if there's anything special on this one that would really kind of stand out. Ooh, walnut, about then 2.5. I wish it was freeze. Those are all really good features. So overall, this is a nice one. It's just it's not jumping at me. It's kind of think there's another Sony one. These are all pretty nice. It's just not jumping out to me and saying, "Hey, I got to get you." And how can I set this up in the studio where it's just going to be powerful? Ooh. Now I've had experience with the Canons. We have the N300s. I haven't played with the N100, but they're basically fairly similar cameras. Those are really, really good cameras. I think I'm pretty much stuck where I am on those at the moment. Let me check something. There's something I need to check out. So let's go over to the end. And yeah, I'm doing a PTZ first style just because this is most likely going to be a permanent unassisted. But I may end up looking at quoting them out smaller cameras at HD, and I'll show you which ones I'm going to do with that in just a second because it's super. And for the money, there isn't anything better than that. It's just uh, let me focus something here. I'm getting stuck in that internal recording, so I'm gonna have to do some filtering here real quick and see if I can find some more of that internal recording. Features, resolution, spaces, no tracking, Wi-Fi, more. I'm bored with that. Says this is supposed to have onboard recording. I don't see it. Oh yeah, it does. Onboard recording. This is another one. Uh, but I'm fairly certain the other one I got can do it too. So that must be one of those features that's listed on all of them. Let's see if I can narrow this down. I'm narrowing it down to a brand real quick. I'm going to look at Canons, and I think I'm going to look at 500. Yeah, see, this is where it gets to be ridiculously expensive. Prohibitively expensive to go with that because once I move it up to this camera, then it just becomes I need to look at other options. So I think we're going to stick with the two options we had at PTZ level, which is going to be I'm looking at these two are looking good, but it just turns out this has the internal recording, so I think I'm just going to kill those off the list. So what would I add to this to make this system just step up and be phenomenal? One of the things we need is we need a video splitter. So let's do tab, streaming. Here we go for options. ATEM tends to be the king of the streaming. Uh, let's look at some other brands. Let's look at some other brands. Stream switch. Let's see what we got for options. Does it have to be? Yeah, let's see what we got. I'm not going to go to that one there, though. I think it'd be just off the charts awesome. But that's an 8K studio piece. You don't need quite that much power. So the 10K's piece right there. I do want to run off SDI, so if I can filter it to the interface, BNC is probably uh, so let's do SDI. A couple of the options. Maybe a matrix. Right. Let's see what else we have here. All right, let's start a little bit lower on the prices here. So I want to filter it by new. I'll show 75 on the page, and we're gonna go low to high. Why am I going low to high? Because this is their entry level studio we're doing. It's the 4 channel. Let's start us off and not be crazy in cost, but I want to make it work. I like this one. This is a nice little router system. I need internal recording. There's more options than this, so I guess I'm gonna have to go back to the ATMs to see that. I know there's an ATM splitter that does what I want it to do. So ATM, and looking at SDI. Let's see what we got here. That's an SDI ISO. The extreme. I like this. This could be a good piece right here. That's doing it as an ISO. So you get isolated recordings right away, which is super nice. But do I want to move this up? I think the brain is going to be this new one. I think where I want the brain to be is have a brand new version of this. I think this should be the brains. This ISO right here, I think should be the brains of it. Yeah, I think we're going to go this route. Why do I need an HDMI for this one? I think this is the one we're going to go with. There's the brain. It's going to be one of those universal pieces that we can just work with, get everything we need to do, get the computer into it, and all the rest. Even if I have to use an adapter to get the computer in for SDI. And okay, I think this is the brain. This is going to be our universal brain for this. So I think this would be the one we would work with if we were doing. If we had to add that to it. So what are we at right now? We are at, with no cables, sitting at about $7,100. It's not actually bad. Uh, this is one of those killer studios where it would just be knocking out the park. Because by the time your camera lenses, you're really getting up to the price. Uh, what's next on my ballot here? Things I want to do with this. So the first I'm looking at, that's the basic of it, but we need to get an audio interface. Do we have products for audio here? Yes, we do. We use microphones, podcasts, and microphones. Actually, another ones I like. Look at Shure microphone. MV7s. These are actually some of the best mics to get your hands on. Yeah, they're going to do a scan of these. It's a no-brainer. So this microphone is used by a lot of people in podcasting, and it's just a super solid microphone. It's absolutely super solid. You can't mess up with this. It's a Shure microphone. You can run it USB, uh, or you can run it XLR. So it's overall just a no-brainer. So I'm going to put four of those into the cart. Uh, Now it comes down to you know what? It's a Rodecaster Pro. This is a really nice interface to run for your podcast system. Just get nice recordings, get nice audio. It won't allow me to put audio onto the smaller cameras, which I'll have to do external microphone for like $50, but that's nothing. I might do it. This is actually a really good piece to have in the puzzle. So I think that could be it. Add that to it. That's pretty good. They've also got this package too, which is super nice. We have these microphones and our system too. We've got a whole setup like this, and it's a podcasting dream. These mics for these arms are really nice. Overall, it's a super nice setup. I would say that's probably going to be our interface for audio, like these broadcasters. Yeah, if we can get away with doing those mics, yeah, I think overall it's solid on that. Does internal recording, has four microphone out, four headphone outputs, has an output I can put to the A10 and get clean audio too. So yeah, I think this is the way we're going to go. Also got pad controls, so I can add in sounds and other things to it, claps, intro song, or a song in general. So I mean, we're looking at yeah, that's that's going to be our audio interface. I think that's a really nice way to go. Now let's look at other camera options. We got audio out of the way. What would I use? There's no camera better than this one here if we're doing like a podcast all the way around. It's going to be welcome to the show, brother. Um, if you have any questions, just ask them. Let's see, what do I do for cameras here? I'm going to go. I want to keep the cameras at $1,300, $1,400 per camera if we're going to do small cameras, and we're going to go. Now, I worked with iHeartMedia on a couple of things, and the ZV D10 series just bulletproof when it comes to podcasting videos. They use them for uh, Riverside, which is a really cool program for doing live stream videos, and they use the EV10 Mark 1s, but the Mark 2s are just phenomenal. You can use the Mark 1s if you're just going to do it for just like live stream. at 1080p, but I want to be able to record 4K and do the live stream. So I think for the money in which you're getting, these value packages right here are going to be really good. So I think if we went a couple of these, 40 millimeter film, so we went with, we went with a couple of those, and trying to save about $1,400 on average per camera. So that means it gives me a little bit of room to play with on the lenses. So let's just say if we did 3 of those, let's just say we went 2 of those with the kit lens, and then we went. This would be an HDMI out. The other disadvantage of this is it's a micro HDMI, but I would cage them and put all the extra stuff on them. So I use a different switcher than the one I've got selected. So the SDI switcher would go with the OBS box tail 2, which is going to be this switcher. I would just do the extreme without the SDI, and it would get the same results. And the reason why we use the extreme is it allows us to do 4 cameras and a couple computers into it, just in case we do some extra presentation stuff. These cameras can go room to room, be plugged in USB and power all day long, and they're in HD, they never die. And if you are doing 4K and you want to record the video in 4K all intra and have the output as SD, have the output be a regular looking screen, but still be recording in S-Log3, there's a way to do that too, which sets this a little bit apart. It comes with a nice kit lens, some power zoom, so it gives you the equivalent of 28 to almost 80 millimeters. So that's a really nice lens setup for getting the wides, which I really like that. What I'm going to be doing for the tights, I'll show you in just a second. Let's just say we're doing a 2-person camera setup. I really do want to have like some nice 85s that are just blowing out the whole world. So we're going to go with these, and then we're going to do a couple that are without the. I like these packages. They just have the extra value stuff with them. I mean, look at this. It's already got, for a few bucks more, you get an SD card and a bag. I mean, I just like the fact that it has everything in it at once. So adding a little bit to it is a good flavor. The reason why I'm picking these cameras is they got 4K, which is one of the big things I want people to have. The recording in 4K, I can put out a 1080p signal to the A10, which is really, really nice. S-Log3, so if we were recording S-Log3, we got that. The microphone on it's really good. So, I mean, these I would probably pick them on the high end of it. And if we're going to the higher end, we're going to do that a little bit here. But I would pick these. These are all still in that entry level area, sub $10,000 package. What I'm looking at right here. We're going to go to a $20,000 package, and we're going to go to probably a $30,000 package too for a podcast studio. And I don't think that's excessive, but I don't think it's excessive. I know what it takes to kind of build out one of these and make them spectacular and make a broadcast level so we can do other things with it. So let's see. We're going to go Sigma. We're going to go Sigma. This is also one of the options too. You could do this, and it would also go to the next level where I don't have any compromises. And I'm really tempted to go that route. Mm-hmm. Really looking at some really nice. These are really good lenses. They're f1.4, which means they'll be closer to a 2.4 lens, 2.2 lens, and they look really good. This is the one I'm thinking about, the 56 millimeter. I like those for the types. So they have a really nice blown out, bokeh, delicious. Uh, checking out. Okay, so let's do the hard. I'm just going to do two of them. For those who are sticking with me that have come in and out of the stream, appreciate you. This is chaos in motion. Don't let me get one of those, but two of those would be good. Still, any one of these packages is sub $10,000. Probably leaning towards eight. Now it's just like that. Some of that stuff I wouldn't get here. Like since these are going to be in a room, the only ones, once we get them set, we're going to set them and kind of forget them type things. They're going to be these, and I'm probably going to need some stands. So, I'll do it a little bit, but a small rig one or something like that, 159. You don't have to get a $3,000 stand to get a nice stand for a podcast. You just need a nice one. Fits what you're doing. It should have a fluid video head, which is one of these units, and it should have good solid legs. Other than that, you're just fine. You can go 299 or you can go 159. Either one of these is great as a good start for what we're doing. Now, if you're going to get a nicer camera, you're definitely going to want to put nicer stuff on there. But go there. Where are we going to go next? How much is the C50? 38. Hi, welcome to it. I have to just look at the camera gear. That's a really deal. Two of those. Need a couple of the. Ooh, that mil. Oh, that's actually pretty nice too. I like the audio handle though. P60. Okay. Well, V60 is good until you realize that V60 will do absolutely nothing for recording, which sucks. Wish I could say to do more, but it's not going to. want it to. I think we could go with a few of these, though. The audio handle may not be needed for the podcast video. That's a question. I gotta figure that out. Welcome to the video. Thank you for watching. I see you there. I'm just looking at equipment to add to this quote for a podcast studio. I'm looking at the FX30 because it's a solid camera for podcast studios. If you're running one all day long, you can go 3, 4, 5, 6 shows in a row. This will never overheat. It will never die on you. And you can record all day long while doing it and have it powered by the A.P.C PD plug. So that is really cool. So it's a solid piece. That's going to be the backbone. This is going to be our medium level. Also looking at the C50. So if anyone's watching this, the C50 will probably be the next step up. Going up in cameras, it would be one of these. So C50 in the studio. So we would go FX30 for your entry level, mid entry level, upper entry level will be the C50s. Uh, and the next level up from that would be, sorry about that. The next level up from that would probably be a tie between the C80 and the FX6. So you get the C80 right there. Have, so it would be a tie between these two cameras. Why you would have a podcast studio with these? Genuinely, it's just so that you're set up for podcast on the road, that you can take those out, and not only the podcast where you're at, but also move to locations. You don't have to worry about what other people have. I do like the FX6 a little bit over the C80 just because the variable detail tracks a little smoother, but I mean, you can't lose either way when it comes to those. Another one I think the higher ones is going to be Black Magic 6K. That really is. I hate to say it. If I'm going up to that level, I think I just do the business. I mean, it is integrated into the system quite well. Clients work off quick and ooh, that's a good the iris like that. I like that. Oh, this is one that could really be. I hate the word game changer, but this could be a really good package altogether. 5 grand a piece. I do like the iris. So we can run a couple of these into it, and I like the integration that these have to into the Black Magic switchers. I mean, you really can't lose on these with the Black Magic switcher. All right, so what I've got in the cart right now is Black Magic Extreme, and with this Extreme ISO working alongside the Black Magic Nexus, you're in a win-win situation right there, where you're just going to have the SDI, every tool you're going to need. Let me look at this real quick. I am really starting to be enamored by this possibility. If we went that route, and we went with, ooh, I got an idea. So HD8, uh, actually probably the way to go. HD8 ISO. That ooh, big outputs, the XLR in. Then I'd have to upgrade the. It really would be a upgrade the audio to this. And I had it in in with the L mount. I don't want to be updated. 6Ks would be more than enough for that. So if we were doing four of these, we have the card. Let's look at what we got in L mount lenses. L, so Panasonic L mount. 24/7. That's just a Super 35 anyway, right? Hey, are you serious? Oh, no. And that's a Super 35, if I remember correctly. Man, maybe one. Something that's wider. I'm Super 35. So Sigma, now 16 millimeter. I'm yeah, how about this allow us to upgrade quite a bit. And that should be. Let me go over here and take a look at this. This is where things. I like Black Magic because it kind of disrupts what you plan on doing. And I believe this is Super 35 if I'm correct on this. And if it is, that's a full try to here. Let me look at some different lenses here. Look at, still gonna look at Alpha. So on the full frame, get rid of a couple of these in the cart. Get that out. We can still get lenses in that price range, though, which is nice. The amount is mounted lenses. It's an L mount, not L's. Are you serious? All right. So sometimes the filters aren't that good, but that is. I need. We're gonna do help out. Thanks for joining in on this. I'm just looking through, some of the stuff on campus. I should probably pop over here and just come in for just a second. Hey, how you doing? I am looking at doing a couple podcast videos, and I just need to get a quote put together. This is the research I do. I decide and kind of build something together and see if it's going to work. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And any questions or anything like that, feel free to just chime in a comment and ask questions if you like. I've been doing productions since 1993 is when I first started my education in it. I'm just kind of going forward with that. Uh, for lenses, I need to figure this out to go with full frame. So basically, I'm looking at helping out the Black Magic camera, just knocking out the park. And, oh, there we go. So we want to add a couple of these. So for the wide, a 16 to 28 is really good for a wide angle view for any of the podcasts with two people in a view. So I know two different wide angles, so that's going to be good. The 16 to 28. Let's see what else we got here. That there. With that, you know, any one of these is okay. This Panasonic Lumix 24 to 60 is a really nice. Always something to think about when you're using the Black Magic cameras. It's Panasonic has a tremendous selection of lenses for them, so the podcast, you'll be able to build some nice stuff for that. Where's that at a 65 mil? I kind of like that. 2.0, super nice. Ooh, yeah. Let's go with the 24 to 70. This could be a small studio area, so I'll probably go with two of those, maybe even three. So I think that would be really nice. Yeah. What else we got here? Ooh. See, these are actually really nice links to work with. Everyone has the stigma against the 24 to 105, but when you're in a podcast situation, you don't want too shallow of a depth of field unless you're really, really trying to like bracket out somebody. This is by far probably one of my favorite style lenses, which is the 24 to 105. It's a really, really nice close up of somebody. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna put that back up. Happens. This is the lens I'm talking about. That 24 to 105. Uh, Normally, I'm not doing my own productions, but I'm starting to do it more and more. Like, I think we're going to go with one wide, possibly three top cameras. I like this. The 24 to 105. We just get like three of those and then one wide. Oh, we're in that golden zone right there. And yeah, I think we're golden. I think we're golden on that. Hell, we could go to four of those. How wide is this? Is not going to be hard on a full frame at 24 millimeters. That one's in back order, so we'll contemplate that there. So I'm looking at a bunch of cool options here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch audio around a little bit. Uh, let's see if I got any Midas here. So they do have Midas, which is cool. With that, you need some expertise on how to use them. Let's go back here too. Let's see if we've got a rack here. 2x. Ew. Um, can I go here? Some Midas. Thanks for jumping in. Hey, I'm just having some fun building up all these different things the way I like to do it. So for those who jumped in, cool. I'm still building out this here. Midas rack. Let's see if I get some Midas rack. Hmm. Yeah, we did a bearish remain. This is the one we probably need to do. And this one gives me so much control. I really like this, and I can wrap it. Like this. I like that. That's actually a pretty cool setup. That is a pretty cool setup. It's an old unit, but surprisingly, when you're playing around with these older or newer, it's not that much difference in specs. What I can do with it, headphone amplifier. Uh, that's one of those where I'm going to look at it and see what I kind of want an XLR out. So we can, I think we're still good with the other one. Audio wise, I think we're good no matter what. It's just how far do we want to go video wise. On the audio side, we can that up. So I think got just a bunch of what I'm looking to do tonight. Appreciate anyone who actually watched. This is just what I would normally do anyway. Just looking at equipment, having fun while doing it. Thanks for watching. There we go.